The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family. Never forgetting where we came from.
Welcome everyone to the very first episode of
Live.Laugh.Word.
I am Chris Word.
And I'm Nitra Word.
And that is my very awesome and amazing wife.
Oh, thank you, honey.
So why are we doing this?
We're doing this in 2016. We had a rough year, and we've decided to make an intentional effort to live life with purpose and with intent. And there's no better day than the first day of the year to go ahead and put those goals into high drive. And being that a podcast was something we always thought about and was like, oh, wouldn't that be great if we can do something like that? And everyone has these ideals and ideas, but they mean nothing if you don't have execution. Right, honey?
Execution is the key. So this podcast is us executing on our goals. And
yes.
Like she said, today's January 1st, and what better day to start? So the purpose of the Live, Laugh, Work podcast is to talk about our life experiences.
And everything under the sun.
And everything that we go through, specifically relationship between us and our family or friends, things that we experience. Also some investments or wealth building, and even just everyday life, everyday social things that we see.
So it's basically broken up in the name, Live, Laugh, Word. Live meaning how we make our living. What do we do? How do we work? What investment opportunities we're getting into, and just walking through those with you on a day in, day out basis. Laugh is just experiencing things in everyday life, things that bring us pleasure, us experiencing life together, trying new adventures.
And finding the joy in those experiences as well.
Yeah, that as well.
Yes.
And then word, usually under the mantra live, laugh, love would be the last word in that sentence, but it's live, laugh, word because we're the words and we like to feel like we represent love. So
yes, and it's us.
It is us.
And it's us a part of this journey of life. So we live, we laugh, and it's us.
Exactly.
So let's give you a little backstory to our difficult year 2016. Our daughter Olivia was born on March 1st.
Our first child.
Our very first child. And unfortunately, she passed on August 7th, 5 months and 6 days after her birth. She had a genetic thing that they call trisomy 5P. It's very rare. But due to that, she did
genetic
pass away.
Disorder.
Genetic disorder.
I heard you say genetic thing.
Yeah, I struggle with that disorder word. But yes, and so that was probably the most difficult year that I've ever had, and the most difficult
that we've
thing
ever had.
That I have ever had to experience. So
I have to agree wholeheartedly. There are no words to put how it feels to go through that whole experience, to carry a child for 9 months, give birth, and lose your child all in 1 year.
Yes.
Definitely no words for how I feel and for what that process feels like and what my husband and I went through. But one thing, if I could take away that Olivia showed me, is that life is so precious and it's so sweet. And you need to make the most out of it at all times. I enjoyed my daughter for the 5 months that she was here. Mm-hmm. Some people think that, oh my God, it was 5 months. We have so many pictures, you wouldn't believe it was 5 months. But just learning how to live life for every moment that we're given, knowing that she would not be here long. We wanted to exercise it to the fullest capacity and carry that same energy into our everyday lives and live. I don't know the word for it. What am I trying to say, honey?
I don't know, but what I will say.
Oh, honey, you're supposed to finish my sentences. Isn't that how this is supposed to be? Someone finishing your sentences?
Yes, is that what I learned throughout that process is, you find strength and you find power and you find patience and comfort and energy that you never knew existed until you go through a difficult moment.
You exceed the maximums you thought your body had. Like you thought I could only do this much. I can only have this much energy. I'm only this much. And every day I was able to exceed all those limits that I thought I had in me. And it just let me know how powerful I was as a mother, how powerful I am as a woman and as a wife. And so trying to take those same feelings and emotions and apply them to my everyday life in 2017 and onward.
So that would lead us into kind of what we wanted to talk about for our very first episode. And again, with this being January 1st, we wanted to talk about, a lot of people do resolutions or set goals for the year. So these are going to be what we have on the board, 4 things that we're going to discuss for 2017 and ways of achieving your goals or things to consider when going through that achievement process. So what's number 1?
The first one is take the leap.
Yes. Take the leap.
Yes.
Of faith. Take the leap of a goal.
Of courage.
Of
whatever it is, for whatever it is you want to do. For us, it could be taking the leap of doing this podcast.
Exactly.
And stepping out there to basically put our lives on blast.
Yes, exactly.
For whoever would like to listen.
Right. So, and I would go back to something that I heard. I forget the guy's name who mentioned it, but he said that a lot of people have ideas. Ideas come.
Gary V.
Yes. Ideas come a dime a dozen, and we can sit around for days or hours and talk about ideas. I mean, one thing is businesses. I think this will make a lot of money, and that'll make a lot of money. Or you know what, iPhone should do, or Apple should do for the new iPhone version, or the new shoe that should come out. Or everyone can come up with millions of ideas. But if we do not execute on those ideas, then you're just wasting time. So, number 1, take a leap, whatever that is, whatever the idea is, whatever the thought is, whatever is that goal that you want to do, take that leap.
Take the leap. And most people don't take the leap because of reason number 2, which is don't be afraid to fail. People don't want to take the leap because they think, it's not going to work. For us, people may not want to listen to our podcast, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Exactly. Just go ahead and do it anyway.
Yes.
And you never know what could come out of it.
Yes. And I'll use another analogy that I like, and again, that I heard from somewhere, is that if you see your goal at the end of a tunnel, and that goal is that light, and you're standing at the beginning of the tunnel, and you want to get to that goal, and if you never start walking down the tunnel, then you never will achieve that goal. But what you don't realize is as you go down the tunnel, you will start to see hidden doors or elevators or escalators or hidden pathways that you never thought was possible until you start going down that door or going down that tunnel to your goal. So again, if you're afraid of failing, then you may not take that first step, but you never know what's possible.
Also, with being afraid to fail, I was listening to, it was Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he made the statement of just knowing that I will fail.
Yep.
And having that just brings so much resolution to me. If you just admit that I will fail, but I'm going to get back up and keep going.
Exactly.
It's like a baby learning to walk. No baby goes from crawling on the floor to seamlessly walking down the hallways. It's kind of I take a couple of steps, I fall, I get back up, I take a couple of steps, I fall. And it's a process of learning and growing, and you have to put in the work. So in putting that work in comes the bumps in the road, comes the many failures, but I assure you, if you just stick with it, there will be a great victory in the end.
Yes, there'll be that moment when that baby doesn't fall anymore, but they walk and then run,
exactly.
And then they very rarely sit down shortly thereafter.
Right.
You want to tell everyone about your recent leap of faith?
So my recent leap of faith is that in November of 2016, I left my job. I am a accountant, went to school for accounting, undergrad and grad. But I decided that I no longer wanted to pursue helping someone else pursue their dream, working every day for someone else's company, which is basically our CEO's dream of building his company, his brand. I figured, why not do it for myself? So Chris and I have always been interested in real estate and investing, and I was going to real estate school to get my realtor's license just because I wanted to know more about the industry and also be able to broker my own deals when Chris and I did our investments. In that, I found a love for it, and I really like it. And it's kind of ironic that it goes back to my accounting, because even when I was in accounting, I specialized in REITs, real estate investment trusts, and auditing certain buildings, downtown areas. So I was always kind of in the real estate field. So it just seems like a perfect mesh of what I want to do. So I've left my job in November and now I'm a full-time realtor at, let me plug this in, Freeman J. Burns Realty here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, yes.
So I am so excited. I can say one thing. It's 100 times harder than I ever thought it would be when you are dependent upon yourself to make things happen.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And that I think one thing that I realized as Nitra is going through this process is it's very easy to go to work and you clock in, you sit at your desk, or you do whatever physical activity you need to do to start your day. And then you work those set hours that you expected to work for that day, and then you clock out, you go home, and you can basically disconnect and do whatever else you want to do. You can unplug your mind and not do anything. But when you start working for yourself, that clock never stops and it's always on.
Always on. I answer my phone 24/7, basically.
Exactly.
I am always on call. I am my admin person. I am my marketing person.
Exactly.
I am everything down the line.
Yes, so it's very easy for someone to say, oh, I work 40 hours a week, and they think they want to be an entrepreneur, and then they're just going to work 40 hours a
Oh,
week.
it's way more than
But
40
you
hours
end
a
up
week.
working more. You end up doing more. You end up learning more. You end up taking more on. So I have realized that as well. Like she said, you can be an accountant and you don't have to worry about marketing. You don't have to worry about sales. You just do accounting. I just do this reconciliation. But when you're your own boss, when you're working for yourself, then you have to do sales. You have to do accounting. You have to go out and shake hands and greet babies and all the other
Greet
stuff.
babies, kiss babies.
Kiss babies.
I got you, boo.
All right, there you go. So that's number 2. Don't be afraid of failure. Like you said, chances are you're going to fail. But if you look at it as a learning experience, then
I don't want to say chances are you're going to fail. I'm just saying there are bumps in the road. No one goes on a straight success shot.
That's fair.
But the whole thing is just to keep on the path, and
Stay
eventually,
you will get there.
you'll get there.
Yes. Number 3 on the board. This is one of my.
It's number 3 on the board, and it's nothing comes without hard work. So that is the next segue. What do you think about that one, hon?
Nothing comes without hard work. So just like we talked about with Nitra and her new job, it's hard work. You have to get out and grind. You really have to grind. If you want abs, you have to go and, I won't say go to the gym. You can do it at home, but you're going to have to do some type of sit-up or ab work or leg work. Nothing comes without that blood, sweat, and tears. And it's a cliche statement, but it is absolutely true.
I mean, let's think about it for a minute.
Okay.
Even when you see the people on magazine pages and you're like, oh my God, their makeup is so beautiful. Okay, maybe Chris wouldn't say this, but that's something I think about. When you get your makeup professionally done, man, it takes an hour to 2 hours, for that whole process. And you're like, I thought those women just woke up and put this on in 15 minutes and it was like, voila, I want to learn how to do that. But the more you see things that are of quality, you realize that it takes time to build that quality. It takes work to build that quality. Even people who have the rock hard bodies, when you really talk to people who are so in shape, you realize that their eating regimen is so strict and they work out so many times a day. And it's like this what word am I trying to say? Relentless, thank you. Dedication to that, to work out the 5 to 7 times a week, to eat the whatever caloric intake and no carbs or whatever it is. And most people would be like, oh my God, that's too much work.
Exactly.
I just rather eat my hamburger and fries. Well, I don't eat red meat, but eat my hamburger and fries and sit and chill instead of working out or getting up at 4:45 in the morning. So if it takes that much work to have beautiful makeup and a beautiful body, how much work do you think it takes to achieve the goals that you want to achieve in life? Whether it's owning your own business or what else, hon?
The rock hard abs that I'm trying to get. That's just
I didn't mean to laugh that hard.
Yeah, you thought that was funny.
Okay, I'm
done. Don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally. I love you.
All right. The one thing I do want to say, and this is a very simple example, but we were taking pictures just before Thanksgiving this year, and to the same point that nothing comes without hard work, and one thing that Nietzsche just mentioned that brought this to mind. So we were taking pictures, and we wanted this very regal pose. And as we were standing there, the photographer, he was looking through his lens, and he realized a few things were off, and we were just standing there very naturally, and he decided to change a few things. He wanted us to tilt to the left and lean your head back to the right. And he asked Nitra to fold her arm behind her back and put her hand in a very awkward position.
And it felt very uncomfortable.
On her hip. And I had to kind of look this way and hold my arm this way and smile this way and be very exaggerated with the smile. But the very ironic and weird thing is the picture came out amazing, but you don't realize all of the other weird and awkward things that you had to do in order to get that picture in the camera.
Right. We felt so uncomfortable in that picture, but the picture looked flawless.
Exactly. So to kind of tie that in is that there's a lot of hard work that goes in behind the scenes that a lot of people don't understand or realize or get to see or even will appreciate. But at the same time, you as the owner, you as the person, you as that goal seeker, dream chaser that you are, you go through that struggle so that when that picture is taken, they see that flawless, amazing success story that you want to be.
Oh, that's a great job. I like how you summarized that.
Yeah, you like how I put that together.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What's number 4?
Well, that segues into number 4, which is get comfortable being uncomfortable. That was actually a great segue.
Very good. Very good. So, get comfortable being uncomfortable. The very first time I heard this was Rob Siegfried, the CEO and founder of the Siegfried Group. He said it at one of his events. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I mean, it really says what the words are. A lot of people are uncomfortable being uncomfortable. For instance, a lot of people don't like public speaking, so they're uncomfortable in that moment. And what do people normally do? What's their natural reaction is to shy away from things that make them uncomfortable. Well, if you are comfortable being uncomfortable, then there is never a moment, there's never a situation that you will be afraid of. There's never an opportunity or an event or a situation that would make you shy. You want to add anything to that?
No, I think you said that great. Like,
Okay.
This is one personal goal of mine that I'm working for in 2017. I want to say in the new year, but the new year is here. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. There are a lot of things that I have to work on. Like public speaking scares the crap out of me. My husband is very good at it and he can get up in front of crowds and speak so eloquently and put things together. And I'm like, whoa, how does he do that? So yeah, I need a lot of practice in that area. So one thing I'm doing for myself is taking Toastmasters classes.
Yes.
And where I go and I get with my group and practice doing speeches in front of a group of peers.
Shout out to Toastmasters.
Yeah, shout out to Toastmasters, our fun Toastmasters club here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so it helps me get over that hump and just, if I put myself out there more, I can become more comfortable in that situation until it becomes a natural thing for me. I haven't mastered it yet, but you know what? I'm making the steps toward it. And in 2017, I think that's what it matters most. Just making the steps toward your goal. Yes. And though it feels uncomfortable every time I go and every time I'm called up to do some kind of impromptu speech or something, the more I do it, the more it feels natural to me.
Yes, yes. And I actually say what my nephew said over the holiday to me about some goal that we were talking about. He said, practice makes progress, and progress makes perfection. So I think we are used to the normal cliche of practice makes perfect, which is in the long run true. But to add that step in of progress kind of goes with this getting comfortable being uncomfortable. So if you set out a goal and you practice at that goal, one practice won't make perfection, but that one practice will make progress. That one step toward being comfortable or learning how to speak publicly or being comfortable speaking publicly will make progress. And the more you do it in progress will make perfection or get you more comfortable. See how I keep tying things in?
I see.
I'm
Well,
ready
you
to
on a
get to
roll
go.
today.
I'm on a roll. I'm standing up. I'm feeling good.
I know. Why are you standing
I
up?
don't know. I got the adrenaline going.
I guess I need some of that adrenaline.
Shout out to coffee. All right, here we go. Step number 5. What are we going to talk to people about?
So our last step, I know we originally said we have 4 steps, but I decided to put a 5th one up on the board, and that is being prepared. Basically, the mantra of staying ready so you don't have to get ready.
That is so true.
Yes.
I really like that.
You like that?
I do like that.
I think that comes from a song. I just don't know which one it is. Okay.
So stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, so much we talk about in life of that being preparedness. And I mean, I can take it back all the way to high school. And Chris and I have this conversation with our nieces and nephews and cousins all the time. People say, why is it so important to get good grades? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go to college and get a degree and do XYZ and it won't matter anyway. Oh my God, it so does. Everything you do in life is like, it just compounds on top of one another. And Chris, you can help me out here anytime you want to.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to jump in. I didn't want to cut you off. I agree. I think stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, but just the whole thing of like making good grades that gets you into the good school or get you the scholarship. Once you have a scholarship, then you don't have student loans. And then you're like one step ahead of everyone else. And then if you make good grades in college, you have the employers coming to you. You don't have to go to the employers to get a job. And then once that happens, and if you stay prepared at your job and become, top leader, producer, salesperson, I mean, fill in the blank.
Exactly.
You never know what heights you can climb. And then when you leave that, you've built a certain set of skills that can help you what you do want to become an entrepreneur or whatever it is you want to do. I've just learned in life that it's really about these building blocks and everything builds on top of each other.
Exactly.
So
let me add this again, analogy or story in. So for 2017, one of my goals is to go to South Beach and walk along the beach and take my shirt off. I kind of want to really take my shirt off.
I don't mean to laugh again. I just can't help myself.
Keep laughing. I talk about my abs.
I just can't help myself.
So that's one of my goals this year. I want to walk on South Beach with my abs out and feeling very confident and strong in my stride. So in order to do that, I'm deciding to go to the gym 3 times a week. Part of my gym routine is doing ab work. Now, the reason why I say that is because if I continue to get ready now in January when it's cold outside, it's below freezing temperatures, but I'm getting ready now so that whenever the time comes between March and September, I can take my shirt off. You get what I'm saying? So I'm getting ready now.
I feel you.
So that when the time comes, I don't have to get ready. I stay ready.
Stay ready. In that same breath, maybe that will be my goal, but that's not my goal right now. My whole staying ready is when I wake up in the morning on the weekends, I will have this habit of, I'm just going to throw on some clothes and go get some coffee and come back. So what I'm realizing is that you never know who you meet getting coffee, especially being a realtor now and encountering people on a daily basis. I want to be ready at all times. So my goal for 2017 is that when I step out the house, no matter what it is I'm doing, no matter how small it feels or it seems, I'm going to be ready. Exactly. If that means doing my hair, picking out a nice outfit, putting on a little makeup. I mean, I'm not a makeup fiend, so it won't be like all out. But, a little eyeliner and mascara can go a long way. And just feeling more prepared every time I step out the door, no matter what it is. Not saying that, I'm only doing this or I'm only doing that, but saying me as Live.Word, this is who I am and this is how I want to present myself at all times.
Right. You don't minimalize your goal or your whatever it is. It is that important to you that you want to be ready when you do that goal. And I think that's very important. I think a lot of people try to, again, using the word minimalize what they're about to do or their plans or their goals so that it becomes small and what's the word I'm looking for? Mediocre.
Okay.
Instead of saying that is a big, extravagant, and I'll use the term big, hairy ass goal that I want to put on a suit when I walk out of the house today. Or I want to put on makeup every morning and get up because whoever I meet is important enough to me that I present myself
accordingly
to them.
Yes.
And not feel like, oh, I'm just doing this. I really don't like that word just because it says it's not important. It's small.
It's small. But
to
walk in that truth of I am.
I am.
This.
Yes. Make your light shine and challenge others to make their lights shine as well.
I like that.
I like that. I think we hit all 5.
So let's to recap.
Let's recap.
Yes.
Number 1, take that leap. Execute whatever that goal is, whatever your dream is. Take the leap. Take the step.
Yes.
It's today.
Execution is key.
Today.
And number 2, don't be afraid to fail.
Yes. Don't be afraid.
Just get up and try again.
You may
it's
trip.
all good.
You may trip.
Or you may not.
Or you may not. You may stumble. But either way, you will be better, stronger, faster through that experience. So don't be afraid to fail. Number 3, nothing great comes without hard work.
Yes.
You have to put that.
You have to put in the work. Nothing comes by osmosis. You can't just think it. I mean, you have to do something so it comes to fruition.
You have to. I mean, there's nothing more simpler to say than that. If you want it, you got to work for it. You got to put that time in.
Number 4.
Get comfortable.
Being uncomfortable.
Get comfortable. Being uncomfortable.
I think that speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself. And last one, number 5.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Hey.
Like I said, that
I do.
had a little upbeat to it.
Yeah, we got to turn some music on. You do stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Always be on your A game, no matter what's going on. If you that guy that want to put the suit on, put the suit on. If you that lady that want to wear the heels, wear the heels. But caveat, bring you some flats just in case because your feet may hurt and you don't want to have to go through that whole situation. I'm a married man. I get it. I'm just saying.
Well, we just hope that we are here to inspire others in 2017 to take some of these actions. We're applying them in our everyday life. We want to encourage you all to apply them as well and just continue to live life out loud.
Live it out loud. Have fun when you do it. Live, laugh, word. And before we end, I do want to segue into what we're going to call our investment corner. So at the end of every episode, we're going to tell you or give you an update about an action that we're taking. So as we said at the beginning of this one, this podcast is our leap of faith. We are not afraid to fail. We are putting in the hard work, and you wouldn't imagine the hard work. And we're getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And we're staying ready so that we don't have to get ready with this podcast. So today, in the investment corner or the update corner, we're going to use this podcast as our update. We appreciate you all for listening. And we look forward to...
Wait, the podcast is our update for what?
Well, in the investment corner...
How's this an investment?
Well, it's not an investment. This is like the update corner. We're going to call it investment/update corner.
Oh, I get it. So we would talk about investments if we had any right now and updates to anything we're doing as far as our goals.
Exactly.
And so this podcast is our update. Got it.
Exactly. There we go. So when we talk about investing in stock or investing in real estate, we may talk one week about buying it. The next week we may talk about
selling it
or the transaction or flipping it or doing something.
Got it.
We'll give you our updates in this little corner, and I'm doing my corner move right now. Hashtag corner moves. So I guess we reached the end of our first podcast.
Yes, we want to say thank you guys so much for joining us. Look forward to hearing more from us in 2017.
So I'm going to tell everyone where you can find us. We are on Instagram. I try to post something very often, so you can find us on Instagram at Live.Word.
Try again, babe. It's all cool.
Same thing as the name of the podcast, Live.Laugh.Word. Look us up, friend us, follow us. We love to see you.
Also, if you have any questions you would like to ask us or anything, you want to ask us and we'll answer in a podcast, you can email us at live.laugh.word live.laugh.word at gmail.com.
Live.Laugh.Word@gmail.com. I dig that. But we do appreciate your time. I think
Yes.
we're coming up to the end of our first podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Shout out to all your goals.